Welcome to the Best Things Podcast. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Don't forget to follow us on all the socials at Best Things Pod as well. Now, here are your hosts, Craig and Aaron.
Oh, hello, internets. Welcome to the Best Things Podcast. My name is Craig. Sitting next to me with no pizza on his face, Aaron Brooks.
I can do it.
I don't know if that may have been why you asked that question, because I was just looking at my teeth to make sure I didn't have anything in my teeth.
That's what I thought. I don't know. I didn't ask that question, so I might have pizza in my teeth.
Yeah, we were recording in the PM, which is becoming more and more common for us. We used to be strictly afternoon recorders.
It was very nice.
And now we're
a little tied up now.
We're a little busy, so we find time at night. So we just had dinner. Not a sponsor, the New Yorker pizza from Pizza Hut. It's pretty good.
That cupping pepperoni, I think, is a nice addition.
That's a dub. Welcome to the show, everybody. If you're just joining us for the first time, like I said, I'm Craig. He's Aaron. We talk about stuff. We bracket it at some point in the episode, and that's it. We talk about random stuff, the best things. We'd love your feedback, so hit us up with all the feedback. You'll see all the stuff down at the bottom of the screen or in the description somewhere. We would welcome your feedback and let us know what you think, what your opinions are. Today, yes, you get back-to-back weeks. That's something that hadn't happened in a while.
It's been a minute.
So today we are talking about, this is kind of a redux.
It's sort of like a thing you have to revisit every year.
Yeah.
Because this changes
so fast.
And it could change by the time this gets published.
That's absolutely right.
I think that happened to us a year or two ago.
I think so.
We did one, and within a couple of days, things just changed.
Out the window. So you know the title of it if you clicked on it. We're talking about streaming services. We used to call this, the previous episode we called it the streaming wars. And it doesn't feel as much of a war to me anymore.
No.
It feels like they've all just kind of settled in.
Everybody's settled in. Like, everybody has launched their streaming platforms.
Yeah.
When we first started this, we were awaiting Disney Plus, or it was just launching something similar to that.
Apple TV Plus and Disney Plus were just kind of...
Yeah. Now everybody's had a year or two or three to kind of settle in. They found their niches.
Yeah. There really hasn't been a new one in a while. We had Quibi. That vertical...
Yes.
The 5-minute TV show thing.
Yeah.
10-minute.
Yeah.
That crashed and burned fast.
What is the newest streaming?
I mean, you had HBO switch names.
Yeah. They rebranded.
Which didn't change anything.
No. I think that's where we're at now, is everybody launched their own streaming platform, and now they're buying each other and combining.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're going back to having one instead of all of these a la carte. Like, it's just this circle that we've come back to.
It is so maddening. I mean, I remember when cable was the thing, like paying over $100 for cable, going, this is just dumb. Like, I'm paying for all this stuff that I'm not watching, all these channels that I'm not watching. And now here we are. I don't know how much I'm paying, but it's creeping close to it, if not there.
It is impossible to... I look each night at all of my different streaming apps that I've got, and I'm like, I haven't watched this one in months. I don't even know what's on here, and I'm paying for this.
And the libraries on each of them are 100 times more than what cable ever had.
It's overwhelming.
It is overwhelming.
You open it up, and you could... Somebody the other day on Facebook had said something about, we sit down to watch something on whatever platform. This was the wife talking. She says, my husband spends 45 minutes scrolling through, finally decides on what to watch, and he's asleep within 5 minutes. I didn't want to see it in the first place, and I have to sit here and watch it because if I changed, he wakes up.
That's true. We are really bad about... So we like to watch something while we eat. We like to watch something while we eat a meal or something. And I'm especially that way. Like, anytime I want to sit down to eat, unless it's something nice... Just your normal meal, breakfast or something like dinner. I want to watch something while I want to be entertained. And what always seems to happen, if we want to watch a movie or something, we will sit down and then your food's there and you're trying to scroll through to find something to watch. and you're already done with your meal by the time you pick something. And of course, you're not watching anything new. You at some point you default back to things you've already seen.
Yeah. My typical, if I'm going to watch something while I'm eating, is usually The Office or Parks and Rec, Big Bang Theory, or Friends.
Yeah,
It's one of those four that goes on the TV.
You just default to something. I've been very cognizant lately to try to get away from some of those comfort shows.
Right.
I've been trying to okay, I may have seen this show before, but I haven't watched it in a while.
Yeah.
We've gotten back into House, a lot lately. We hadn't watched that in, 10 years.
I am working my way through House. I have, in 5 years, I have made it through 5 seasons. It is going to take me as long to stream this show as the series actually played out on TV. I told some friends, they're like, how far have you gotten in House? And I was like, well, I'm in season 5, episode 14. They're like, oh, it's taking you forever. I'm like, we've only been at it for like a little over a year. And they always pull up the search feature on Apple.
Right.
Sometimes it really backfires on me. Yeah. They pull it up like 5 years ago when I started. Like, I'm starting House tonight, and they showed me the date. It's like, what? That was 5 years ago.
That is
I
funny.
thought it was last year.
But to be fair, COVID time doesn't count. Like, I think all of us are the Marvel blip. I think that's what happened to us.
Yeah.
5 years ago does not feel like 5 years ago.
It doesn't.
It feels like 2. But
like 2016 seems like it was a couple years ago.
Yeah, it's wild.
Not
It does not make sense to me.
7 years ago.
Yeah, it's crazy. So we're talking about streaming services, and I'm sure we'll get into some shows as well because that's part of the package. Last time we did this, we kind of broke it down into different categories, like the user interface and the quality of content and the price. I don't know that we'll categorize it that way, but at the end of this, we're gonna put them in a bracket, and we did not have the bracket format last time we talked about the streaming services.
Oh.
So I'm curious to see how that's going to go because I think we both have most of these. At least we have at some point. And so, I don't know. It's going to be an interesting conversation. So buckle up, everybody. You ready to get going?
Yeah, let's do it.
Here we go.
Before we can figure out the best thing, we have to talk about all the things. It's time for the thing about the things.
Alrighty. Okay, so let's start there. What services do you have active right now that you use? Whether you're paying for them or you're bumming them. What services do y'all have?
Disney, Hulu,
Also, yes. Max?
Max, Prime,
Yep.
Paramount Plus,
I just paused that.
Peacock,
Yes.
Friendly,
Don't know that one. Prime?
I said Prime.
You said Prime?
Yep.
Netflix?
Do not have Netflix.
See, I'm still holding on as long as I'm still grandfathered in.
I have thoughts. I think we might both have thoughts to speak about Netflix.
By the way, this is going to be our shortest segment of this ever because we're going to have a really long worst.
the worst segment. Just gonna go on. Lots of rants today, maybe.
Now I have
What am I forgetting?
I have access to YouTube TV
YouTube TV,
and
yeah.
I have YouTube Premium.
I do not have YouTube Premium.
And I don't know that would you classify that as a streaming service?
I think so.
Because I honestly, out of all of them, that might be the one I watch the most.
I can promise you that when I look at my YouTube viewing hours, YouTube is absolutely a streaming platform. And they've got, you can go on there and watch movies, all that sort of stuff now. So they are absolutely a streaming platform. I'm not watching movies on YouTube. I'm just consuming other content.
Right.
Lots of cooking stuff on there for us. And then other random things. But I can promise you, YouTube is probably my number one most consumed streaming platform.
And it's weird how it became that way. But, and YouTube, obviously anybody can post to it. But it is, over the last, how many years? 6 years, maybe 7? It feels like it has shifted from just a place that anybody anybody can still do it, but anybody goes and just uploads their homemade video to legit studio creators and
I mean, places like Rhett and Link.
Yeah, I mean they and I think they were probably the godfathers of that movement.
They were in that bottom level of the pyramid.
You've got them like Mr. Beast, Mark Rober, and all the cooking channels that are on there now, and Marquise Brownlee and iJustine, and like just the Dude Perfect. How ridiculous! I mean, all of these content creators are on there now, and they are making a very good living. But they're putting out content that you would see on any of the other streaming platforms.
You would expect to see some of this stuff if you had cable TV. It would be on some channel that you would find in your live TV service.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what you're watching.
Yeah.
And is it YouTube that puts out the streaming awards?
Yes.
I mean, it's gotten to the point where, it's a big deal.
It is. Yeah, I mean, this is not David Bit My Finger or Charlie Bit My Finger. Yeah, Charlie, David at the dentist.
Yeah.
Or Charlie Bit My Finger. This is not that anymore. This is, now there are still viral videos that'll pop off, but honestly, I don't know. Not so much on YouTube. That happens more on TikTok and stuff now.
Yeah.
YouTube has become a content creator platform.
Absolutely.
You're probably watching this.
Yeah, if you're watching this, you're probably watching it on YouTube.
So thank you, and share it.
Eventually, we might get fancy enough that we have one of those YouTube subscriber plaques that we can display in the background of our video.
I wonder if I just faked one and we just made some.
Would they copyright? Would they edit it out?
Would it help our views any?
It might. Like, whoa, look at those guys! They overnight success.
So we got YouTube, and you know what? I'm going to take YouTube.
Just YouTube?
Just YouTube. YouTube Premium. Sorry. But, yeah, not YouTube TV. That goes in a different category for me. I'm going to put YouTube. I'm going to put it at 2.
And while we're talking about it, for those who may be unfamiliar with YouTube Premium, tell us what YouTube Premium is.
Yeah, so if you don't have YouTube Premium and you're watching this on YouTube, chances are you had to sit through an ad at some point in your viewing experience. Now, we are not a big enough channel to attract a lot of ads, so maybe you got to watch this episode for free. Awesome. But most of YouTube is monetized through ads, and so you've seen before a video, an ad will pop up. Sometimes you can skip them, sometimes you can't. A lot of time that's starting to become the preference of the creator. They're starting to have the ability to choose whether or not that happens now. I've heard.
Whether or not you can skip?
Yeah.
I have wondered, just based on some of the channels that I have been watching, I have noticed it feels like in the last few months a change in how my ads operate.
I think that's...
And it seems like certain channels I can never skip the ads in now.
Yeah.
And it kind of annoys me.
It does. And I think that's probably a push to get you to sign up for premium.
Do the creators, do they make more money if you watch the entire ad?
It does not matter. This is what I've been told.
So then why would it matter to the creator if you hit skip or not?
It may be a brand deal that maybe they require it in order to advertise on your channel. They may require that. But yeah, I mean, this is hearsay. This is not the internet. Don't come after me if I'm wrong. But comment and let me know. We're cool with that. Just don't be hateful. But yeah, I mean, I've been told it does not matter how long you watch it. As if that gets a view, they get paid, and so that goes for any ad. So you got pre-roll ads, which happens before. You've got mid-rolls, and if it's a long enough video, you'll see several different spots. And then you don't typically see post-roll ads on a YouTube video,
right?
But yeah, content creators there are making their making money from the ads, but that's not where a lot of these channels we're talking about. That's not where they're making the majority of their money. They're making it from brand deals and in video
promotions.
Yeah. So this video is brought to you by HelloFresh.
Yeah, and then there's a 60-second plug that they're going to do.
That I'm skipping past usually every time.
Every time I do it as well.
And YouTube now is starting to roll out. If you've noticed, they'll have the created chapter markers.
Yeah, you can see.
And
makes it very easy.
I could just easily skip through that section as well. But yeah, they're making most of their money off of brand deals, sponsored videos, and merch. Are
they making much money? Are they making very much money off of the amount of views?
Yeah, I mean, the bigger the views, the more money they'll get in addition to that. That's why, like, somebody like Mr. Beast, that's why he's able to do the videos he does, is because they immediately go viral. You know, they're huge. He's getting millions of views within seconds of that thing being uploaded. Right. And so he can just turn that right around, and he's the kind of creator that will pour it right back into his videos to go even bigger next time. But yeah, I mean, it's. I just got the email right before we hit record that the YouTube Premium price is now $13.99. So it's not.
That's a $2 increase from where it was,
and I think that's definitely why it is worth being considered as a streaming platform, because you're paying a streaming premium price. And the reason you're paying that is so you don't have to watch the ads. And they do a great job of hooking you.
I waited until I got that 3-month offer.
They love throwing out that 3-month offer because they got the money to do it, man.
And I was so tempted when my 3 months were up. I was so tempted to say, you know what? I cannot go back to.
It's hard, man.
But I stayed strong. And I said, I'm not doing it. And within a day, I was like, I forgot what it was like to be a peasant.
Yeah, that's exactly right, man.
Ads suck on YouTube.
They do. They are the worst. And
they're getting. And I have read some rumors that they are potentially going to be rolling out longer ads. Really? 60 to 90 second ad potentials.
Unskippable.
Yeah. That's going to make it just like watching regular TV.
Yeah.
If that happens, one of two things is going to happen to YouTube. Either people are going to the premium or they're going to leave YouTube.
Yeah.
One of those two things.
But there's not a competitor for YouTube out there.
You've got Rumble it's starting to kind of take off.
I've never even heard of it.
There's a lot of people that are going to Rumble. And yeah. I said the same thing when I was talking to some of my buddies about this a few weeks ago. I was like, I just don't know that Rumble's that much of a competitor to YouTube. And they began showing me the views on a lot of these videos. There's people racking up big-time views very quick. So Rumble, if YouTube continues this trend, Rumble could become a competitor for YouTube, I think.
Wow.
And I see here, as a side note, YouTube Music is also increasing to $10.99 a month.
Wow.
That prices them above Apple Music, Amazon Music, Spotify.
Which I don't know why you would pay just because I believe it's included with premium.
Is it?
I think so. I never use it, so I don't know. It used to be. It may have split off.
I am somewhat surprised that YouTube, if you're a YouTube TV subscriber, that some of these are not perks.
Yeah.
Some of these should be perks.
Absolutely. They should all be perks. It should be included.
You're paying $72 a month now, I think, for YouTube TV.
Yeah. That's more than some cable subscriptions used to be.
So Google needs to throw somebody a bone.
And Google has the money. I'm wondering why they keep increasing. Is it because they're like, people will pay it? I don't know. Talk about YouTube TV, though.
So YouTube TV is their live TV provider wing. And I was a big YouTube TV fan.
Absolutely.
3, 4, 5 years ago when the streaming wars were really kicking off and they were really trying to compete with cable and satellite TV providers.
I left cable for YouTube TV.
They had...
It was $35 a month.
It was $35 a month and a considerable amount of channels. They have continued to increase their amount of channels slightly, while they have increased their price exponentially.
Yeah, and they've also dropped channels.
There have been a removal of several
I don't know that they've really
channels.
Increased channels. They've swapped
they've
channels.
added and taken away, and now we may just kind of be at a net even.
Yeah.
You know.
But the price,
you've gone from $35 a month to $72 a month in like a 3-4 year time span.
Yeah.
That's a massive increase.
It is. I remember when, because it was $35 for a while. And when they bumped it to $45, because they did a couple of big jumps.
Yeah.
And now they've started doing little incrementals. But I remember when it was like $50, I'm like, it's still a good deal. But they do many more of these. They're going to be creeping past good deal status.
And I know multiple friends that left Dish, Direct, cable TV, went to YouTube TV, and in the last 12 months have said we're cutting the internet cable to YouTube TV. They said,
I'm one of them.
You've priced us out.
Yeah.
We're not doing it anymore.
Yeah, it's not worth it. I mean, because
some of them will subscribe during a specific sports season if they want to see some live games like that. They may go back and subscribe for a 3-month period.
Yeah.
But the rest of the year, they're like, I'm out.
And where they're really hurting themselves is that you are still watching the ads. Like if you're watching live TV, you're still watching ads. If you DVR a show, you're still watching the ads. So not only are you paying 5, 6, 7 times the amount of some of these other streaming channels that you would for their premium, and getting probably more. I mean, if you have Hulu and you're paying, what is it, $14, $15, $16 a month for without ads, you're getting probably more content and no ads. The only thing you're missing is just live events.
Yeah.
And so YouTube TV, man, y'all gotta figure something out. Y'all need to ditch some of these other networks or have a split off model where it's only live, literally live channels, not reruns of shows.
Right.
Or you got to figure something out.
You've got, as far as the live TV streaming, you've got Sling and Fubo, both in that $30 to $40 price range that will get you quite a few live channels. And I know some friends that have gone to both of those.
Yeah.
Just because of the price point of YouTube TV.
I feel like we're integrating worst stuff in as we go. So we may not have a worst segment today, but I have looked into both of those at different points. My biggest beef with them, because you're right, they are priced appropriately. The biggest beef I have is like something like Sling. They have like 2 different packages.
Blue and orange.
And if you're a sports fan,
you've got to get the higher one.
You've got to choose either.
Oh, that's right.
They split them.
Yeah.
So if
you can combine and pay the higher price.
More. And so like I looked into them like, okay, I can either have ESPN or SEC Network. Well, if you're a fan of the SEC, there's going to be some games that are on ESPN that you want to watch.
And that's how Fubo is.
Yeah.
They have that low.
That's how they get you.
If you want the channels, like for me as a Texas Rangers fan, if I want to see them, the only streaming option for me here in Arkansas is to go to Fubo TV.
Yeah.
But it's the package that I would have to select that would get that channel included is $90 a month.
Man.
And I'm not going to pay them $90 a month.
Of course not.
YouTube TV lost out on their deal with Fox Sports, and then it became Bally Sports. And apparently a lot of people have had issues with that company, and they've lost them. That was one of the biggest reasons why I wanted YouTube TV.
Yeah. I'm not ashamed to admit that I'm bumming some YouTube TV off of my family account.
Well,
and it's just kind of because the only reason I watch it is for sports. Now, I think that's a good segue into what ESPN is talking about doing. There's rumors that ESPN, of course, they have ESPN Plus right now, but it's not live ESPN network stuff. It is a lot of, now they will put some live games on there. A lot of your lower tier preseason-ish, out of conference.
But you're not going to go there and watch
Alabama, Texas, Arkansas, LSU. That's not going to be on ESPN Plus. The replay of it will be.
And some people are like, well, I can watch it on there. Yeah, but if you have a TV subscription, then you can watch it.
Yeah,
that's the caveat. You have to have a subscription to somewhere, which is like, okay, then what's the point of watching it on that?
Exactly. But Disney has come out and said they are looking at having an ESPN standalone or integrating it into ESPN Plus. I don't know how they're going to do it, but basically making those available without having to have a cable subscription, which would be a huge win. And
it would.
They would make bank off of it.
Yeah. And I think that it's probably good because you have places like Apple TV Plus and Prime and even Paramount Plus that are now into the sports side of things. And I was really reading, and I don't know if anything's been settled yet or not on who got the NFL rights. Somebody was after.
I know Prime has Thursday Night Football.
They've got Thursday Night Football. Did Apple end up making some sort of deal?
I don't know. I know Apple's got some MLB,
They've got MLB,
MLS, and hockey, I think, too, now.
They were working toward trying to get some NBA, because I know also
Disney's big with NBA.
Disney
ABC.
/ ESPN, though, has been hemorrhaging money.
Yeah.
I mean, they're losing big time. I mean, they just laid off a ton of their sports staff at ESPN.
Right.
They are hemorrhaging money left and right. And because I think they have overpaid for some of these contracts.
Yeah.
I think they have overpaid for some of their sports personalities.
Oh, yeah.
They were just writing out checks left and right to people,
Yeah.
paying them more than what they probably should have been paid. But I think that ESPN, I would say ESPN is no longer the worldwide leader.
No.
They're not.
Absolutely not.
I think FS1 or Fox Sports has passed them.
I don't know that there is, this is a hot take, I guess. I don't think sports television, like programming, matters anymore.
Not a lot.
Watching the game is really the only thing that matters. Sports Center used to be what you did after a game to go catch the highlights and see what they were talking about your team. Now you're doing that on social media.
Yep.
You're following along on Twitter as the game's going on.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, you're scrolling through Instagram and TikTok and Twitter just to see the highlights and see what the commentary is. Sports Center is meaningless now.
It is. And daytime sports talk programming that they would have,
it's
for me, if there's any of those shows that I want to listen to, and there's a couple of them that I do kind of follow, none of them are from ESPN. I do like to follow some of the FS1 programming, but I never watch it on FS1. I catch the podcast and I'm listening to it later in the day while I'm driving, something like that, just like I was listening to the radio.
Yeah. Media has changed completely from where it was 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it's smart that ESPN adjusts. It's taken them long enough. And sports seems to be, and I think it's because they're muddled up in long-term contract negotiations. That seems to be what it is. But sports seems to be the thing that has lagged behind in the streaming wars.
It does. And the point I was trying to get to a couple of minutes ago was I think that some of these sport leagues, when ESPN was just handing out kind of blank checks to everybody, I think the NFL, the NBA, I think they took advantage of ESPN, and ESPN was like, yeah, we'll pay anything.
Yeah.
And they can't do it now.
No.
And you've got Apple TV taking a bite from them.
Yeah.
You've got Prime taking a bite, and Paramount, and all of these places, they're just like sharks feasting on
a carcass.
chum,
Just this floating carcass out there that was, John Madden and Stephen A. Smith.
All of that to say, I think ESPN needs to consider where they're at and try to make some changes.
Yeah.
And that standalone streaming.
That's a great first step.
If you want to get people coming to your platform and paying, I think that they would see a ton of revenue come in from people that are just
considering
wanting
the alternative is in the $40s, $50s, $60s, $70. You price it right. You do a $20 a month, even a $30 a month, people will pay it. But if they don't, then the NFL, which is already toying with their own kind of subscription model, they're caught up in contract stuff, but they're going to start. If ESPN doesn't do something soon, which I think contracts will be written now to where the same game will end up being streamed on multiple platforms. I just think that's probably where we're going. I think it'll be where ESPN has the rights to it, but NFL, they own those properties, so they can also stream to a degree. It may be a different broadcast, but I don't know. It's a really interesting time in sports streaming.
Well, just NFL alone, ESPN's quality of NFL has gone downhill in the last few years.
Yeah.
They had to go get Joe Buck and
I don't even know who else is on
Troy.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
They had to bring them in. And then I found myself actually watching Peyton and Eli Manning's Manning cast.
Yeah.
Because it was entertaining.
It was the better product.
So that's what I was watching on ESPN Plus for football. But ESPN's in trouble.
Yeah.
They need to reevaluate. Disney needs to reevaluate what they're doing with that.
Do you think Bob Iger coming back to Disney, do you think this is going to help?
I think it should help.
Even them.
Yeah.
I know it's helping Disney Plus and a lot of their properties like Marvel and Star Wars, but I hadn't till just now. I hadn't considered how much it could help for ESPN as well. Okay, where else you want to go? What direction we heading next?
So we've talked about
YouTube's,
the YouTubes
and sports, ESPN.
In the past, I feel like I remember, we tried to narrow down what might be if you were going to have one streaming platform.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can have one streaming platform anymore.
I agree. I don't think you can. And I don't think they're, like we said, I don't think they're set up to do that anymore.
I think that you could do a one-at-a-time model.
Right.
And not be stuck paying so much every month, because you go look at how much, if you add all of these up, especially if you're doing ad-free versions of them now, which originally they were all ad-free.
Yeah.
And now they're like, hey, you know what?
Yeah.
We can stick ads in there and create a new tier. Capitalism, baby. You could probably do a one-at-a-time or a two-at-a-time model.
Yeah.
And that because there's no possible way. Again, when I look at all of the streaming platforms, there's no way that I'm watching those. And there's some of them I haven't turned on in weeks or months that I'm just paying for.
What's funny for me, the one I'm most guilty about not watching for really long periods of time is Prime.
Same.
But I'm not getting rid of it. No, Prime shipping.
Yeah.
Which is not what it used to be also, though.
It is not. Let's talk Prime.
Okay, let's talk Prime.
Let's talk Amazon and Walmart.
Okay.
Because that's what it comes down to. Because you have Walmart Plus.
Yeah.
That gives you Paramount Plus streaming.
Okay, I've got a rant
and you
about
have
that.
Amazon with Prime. And because Prime has taken a couple steps back as far as Amazon shipping and things like that, I think it has become much more of a neck and neck horse race between these two over which one provides you the most value.
I agree with that. I still find myself leaning toward Amazon.
Same.
It's just almost like a default. But
do you have Walmart Plus?
I do. They had a big deal going on in December when they were rolling it out, like a whole year for $98, and I hopped on it because, and this is where my rent comes in, I was already paying for Paramount Plus, and so they said you get Paramount Plus for free or included in the subscription. I was doing the math. I'm like, okay, I'm paying X amount for Paramount Plus. This is actually cheaper than that, and I get more. It's a win until you realize after you signed up, or you probably don't be me, do a little bit more digging before you sign up for it. But I mean, I appreciate Walmart Plus. It's worth it. But Paramount Plus comes with ads, and you have to use the standalone app. You can't use the channels in your Apple TV subscription. And so I ended up scrapping that. I probably still technically have it, but I went back to paying for Paramount Plus for a while.
On its own.
Yeah. Just so I could have it where I wanted it and not watch ads. I can't stand ads. I don't watch ads anymore. I just can't. I can't do it.
Eve, okay, I've got another question regarding ads that I'll get to in a little bit. When it comes to Walmart Plus, somebody sent me, and I should have done it because I have never signed up for Walmart Plus, because I felt like Prime gave me the better value. In the last 6 months, I began to reevaluate that.
Yeah.
Does Prime really stand up? Apparently, a few weeks ago, Walmart Plus was running a deal for like $50 for a year.
Wow.
And I meant to jump on it then, and just forgot about it. But because of do you use the gas savings part of it? I use
the gas for sure.
Because it's 10 cents a gallon?
Yeah, that's usually where it takes 10 cents a gallon off.
Right.
Some people perk their ears.
10 cents a gallon, I gotta get it.
Yeah, it's 10 cents a gallon off. That fluctuates a little bit depending on where and there's certain times that it shrinks or expands. But yeah, on average about 10 cents off your gas. And if you do Walmart delivery for like groceries and stuff, it's free delivery. So we're not paying anything extra on delivery, and we get it same day within just a few hours. The only thing you could pay extra if you wanted it within the hour, it's $10 a delivery charge.
So I think that those perks, the fuel savings and the Paramount Plus, I think all of that kind of pays for Walmart Plus.
Yeah. There are some discounts for Plus members in groceries and things like that.
You also get free shipping.
You do? Yeah.
If you're not a Walmart Plus subscriber, you have to have an order of $35, I believe,
something like that,
to get free shipping. This just makes free shipping standard.
Free shipping is standard,
which is a big deal,
and it's fast too. Like
1-2 day shipping.
1-2 day shipping. Yeah,
they have been as fast as Prime,
yeah,
and faster than Prime
faster
in the
some
last
ways.
year
Yeah.
than Prime. They still don't have the selection
Yep.
that Amazon has. When you go to search for something, Amazon's going to have a bigger selection of stuff.
Yeah.
But if you had to choose one, Amazon or Walmart, and you could only keep one for 12 months, which one do you think would provide you the most value?
The most value, probably Walmart. Just because it applies to our groceries, the things we eat, our gas. Now, I know Amazon has Whole Foods, but I don't know that it gives that kind of a benefit. I think they just own it, you know? So, yeah,
if
Walmart
you
definitely
live
has a better
in
value.
very specific areas, you might get Amazon Fresh, where you get some
Maybe.
groceries and stuff like that.
Maybe.
We're not in one of those areas,
No.
and I think it's pretty select where that benefits
major
available.
metro areas.
Right.
Yeah.
But as far as value between those two, I'd give the edge, I think, to Walmart.
Yeah.
Now, if I had to choose a streaming platform between Paramount Plus and just Prime,
Yeah.
I would probably choose Prime over Paramount Plus, I think.
Yes. Well, I don't know. I think having Paramount Plus without ads after paying for it again, we probably watch Paramount more than Prime. We just never watch
really?
Prime. We just never watch anything on Prime. Every once in a while, if we can't find it on some other platform and it's available on Prime, we'll go on there. But very rarely do we watch anything on Prime.
Why is that?
I don't know. For the longest time, I could not stand their user interface. Like, I just felt like, and it's still kind of confusing.
And we talked about that in the Streaming Wars Part 1 and 2.
Yeah, like, I mean,
It was sort of a clunky interface.
there's some things that are free with Prime. There's some things you got to pay for. And it's just kind of confusing.
Prime has its own channels.
Yeah.
I mean, you can subscribe now to Paramount Plus through Prime. You can
Right.
subscribe to Apple TV Plus through Prime.
Yeah.
And it can get kind of confusing.
And Apple does that too, which we'll get to them in a minute.
Yes.
But the user interface is a little cleaner there. But yeah, I mean,
I think that Prime original programming is far superior to Paramount Plus programming.
really. Okay, original programming, yes. But you're getting CBS stuff with Paramount.
Mm-hmm.
But it's network. But you're getting the library of CBS
You are.
content as well. So, your Criminal Minds and that kind of stuff.
But a lot of those things are available to stream on Prime.
That's also true, yeah.
This is
So, yeah, the value, you're right, is probably with Prime for sure.
just between the two streaming platforms.
Yeah.
But when you take the entire thing of how you get them as a
Yeah.
whole, like I would never just subscribe to Prime Video.
Right.
I would pay for Amazon Prime.
So if they split it in two, if they said, you know what, we're going to have Prime shipping as its own thing and video as a separate cost, it'll be $9.99 for that, and then $15.99 or $14.99 for Prime shipping and everything. Are you dropping video? For our audio listeners, he has a puzzled look on his face of
probably,
yeah.
probably.
I for sure am. Like, just because we never watch anything on there.
There are some specific original shows that I like, but I would potentially subscribe to it, watch whatever that show is, and then I'm out
And then ditch it.
until the next season of it's out.
Okay, we segued to Apple a little bit. Let's go ahead and talk about Apple TV Plus for just a second. Because Apple came into the game pretty late into the streaming.
Definitely.
And they did not acquire a big library like some other streaming channels did or subscriptions did.
They kind of started from scratch.
Yeah.
They have began to acquire some
Right.
stuff now.
But
But originally,
they wanted their own original programming, and that's all they had. And it was a small library. Now, that programming was really good. Most of it was really solid. If you're not familiar, Ted Lasso comes from Apple TV Plus, Succession, all these kind of things. And it's cheap. Surprisingly cheap coming from Apple. This is the cheapest thing Apple does.
$6.99 a month.
And if you've purchased an iPhone or any Apple device,
you get a year free.
You get a year free. So I mean, it's great value, and it's bundled into their Apple One and all that kind of stuff.
And that's how I have it, is through Apple One.
Same here.
We have I think we pay $32 a month. I think there was an increase this year, but it gives you the iCloud, 2 terabytes of iCloud storage that our family shares,
and that keeps me at that Apple One.
that was the selling point for me.
That does it for me, man. Otherwise,
we have Apple Arcade. I could take it or leave it.
Yeah, same here.
I
play the games on there. I mean, they've increased that library by bringing in old, classic games to it. But
it includes Apple Music, which I would subscribe to if I didn't have Apple One.
Yeah.
So you get that. And then there's Apple Fitness, which I need to use more.
Yeah.
We liked Apple Fitness.
It's good. Just don't use it.
We're not taking advantage of it the way that we should.
Yeah.
I need that motivation to get back in and do it. But I really like Apple
it's
Fitness.
nice.
So I feel like for $32 a month, you get a pretty good package of things.
You get Apple News in there.
Apple News, yeah, that's the other thing.
I don't really. Every once in a while, I'll get curious about something or a magazine or something.
I'm a pretty big Apple News reader.
Are you?
Yeah, I've got my magazines and everything there that we like to go through. A lot of times I'm laying in bed with my iPad and I'm,
I am that guy. Yes. Okay. I am that guy. I get my news through notifications. If something's going on and I get a notification that interests me, I'll tap on it and read it. Otherwise, I like being ignorant to the world.
Let's get a clip of that with the last part of that gone. I like being ignorant.
But Apple TV Plus.
Okay. I am, let's see. If I was filling out a survey from, where it's like neutral or somewhat surprised or somewhat happy, somewhat disappointed, very disappointed, I've got to say that I am somewhat disappointed with your consumption of Apple TV Plus. I continually ask you about shows and films that have been released on Apple TV Plus.
I know.
You are the Apple guy. We are the Apple men. And I cannot talk to you about the content that Apple TV Plus has put out because you're watching reruns of Friends.
Okay.
Instead of some of the incredible... they put out some good stuff that I would like to mention here that you don't know anything about.
You too have just had a child recently. It adjusts your schedule considerably.
It does.
We are not stretch a movie out more than one day. Like we gotta sit down and just watch the movie. So movies, we gotta dedicate some time to it. A show...
Yeah, what's your excuse on a 40-minute show?
We've also got to dedicate time to it because by the time we get home and settled it's 6 o'clock.
I know.
And then after, cook for about 30, 45 minutes, it's 7:30, 8 o'clock. And
it has been 11 o'clock at night, us watching these Apple TV Plus shows.
We're passed out by that point, man. We are in bed by 10:30.
Erica has missed the last half of these Apple TV Plus shows. I have managed to stay awake, except last night I restarted Interstellar last night, and I made it about 35 minutes into the movie, and I was like, I just got to turn it off and go to sleep. But I'm getting prepped for some Christopher Nolan action and wanted to go back and rewatch some of his films.
Stay tuned, by the way, on the podcast.
Yeah.
If you like Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
Not this episode, but keep an eye out. Subscribe.
So I would like to somewhat say that I enjoy Apple TV Plus content overall. I think you would too if you'd ever watch it.
I do. I love the content that I get from Apple TV.
Currently, Hijack is a really good miniseries.
Yeah, I've heard good things. A lot from you. And some not things from you because you don't want to spoil anything. But yeah, I mean, if it makes you feel better, we're not watching much new stuff of anything right now. So we're still in the we're 2 months behind you on the whole kid thing. So we're getting there. It's been a busy summer. Okay.
If you didn't have Apple One, would you subscribe to Apple TV Plus?
Absolutely.
If you did not have an Apple device, would you subscribe
Absolutely.
to it?
I was paying for it when I needed to pay for it. Absolutely.
So if you didn't have an Apple TV, if you were streaming off of Fire Stick, Roku TV, something like that, would you go ahead and subscribe to it then?
Yeah.
You think you think it's worth having
just the content? Yeah.
alone
Yeah, the content's great. I mean,
for $7 a month?
yeah. I mean, it's fantastic. Yeah. Like I said, Ted Lasso alone was worth the money. You know, just to watch that. But you add a lot. I mean, Prehistoric Planet's really good too.
See, I've got that one saved, and I haven't gone to watch it yet.
That's a good one to put on like during your work day.
So
while you're working on the laptop, working on some stuff.
Richard Attenborough?
Yes.
The guy who does Blue Planet, and all of those.
Yeah.
Has the great voice.
Yeah, he's got a fantastic voice. So, and that it's I think it's just produced, maybe directed by Jon Favreau, but I know he's involved.
It's
in
all just CGI stuff, though, isn't it?
It's all CGI.
I think that's why I haven't got into it, because it's like not realistic.
Yeah, well, it looks very realistic.
Does it?
Yeah, it looks legit. I listened to an interview with Jon Favreau, and he went into the detail on how to do it. But
would you like to hit the button and put Apple TV Plus on your deal? We haven't done this,
and I've been trying to figure out if I want to use that, because I've already got YouTube on here, so I've only got 3 spots left.
Let's talk Peacock.
Okay, yeah, let's talk Peacock.
Peacock is a subscription service that I think we have both labeled it. We have ridiculed it
a trash subscription service,
and I would like to retract that as of today.
They did a refresh. They did a redesign not too long ago.
They did. Peacock has drastically improved.
It wins most improved.
It absolutely wins most improved. And I have found myself watching quite a bit of it. And as I told you the other day, they were running a summer deal, because I subscribed to it for a while and then finished watching what I wanted to watch and got rid of it.
The Office.
Hey, I own The Office. I bought it through iTunes, so I've got that in my library anyway. But yes, if you don't own The Office and you want to stream The Office, you need Peacock.
That's it. Yeah.
And you're going to need Peacock Premium, I think. I don't think you can just use the free.
Which is $10.
Yes.
$10 a month if you're doing the monthly.
Well, it's anywhere from $5.99 a month to $11.99 per month, according to NerdWallet.
Okay.
They're still a little confusing on their tiers.
Yeah.
Because they've got like a free tier, a free or a paid tier with ads, and then there's Peacock Premium that also has ads. And then there's like this Peacock Premium Plus that doesn't have ads.
Yeah.
And I think in order to watch The Office, you have to have that premium.
Probably. I don't know.
The $10 or $11.
I always just default to no ads. I just can't stand them.
So, well, I'm on the ads version. I have not found Peacock to be horrible with the ads, though.
Really?
And a lot of times, like a movie, sometimes they will have one long ad at the very beginning.
Oh, really?
And you watch the rest of it ad free.
That's good.
So I can deal with that. You know, I have not found their ads to just be so intrusive that it ruins everything. But this summer they ran a deal where you got Peacock Premium for $20 for a whole year.
Yeah.
And I jumped on that immediately.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I'm signing up for that.
Absolutely, you need to.
And they have run that sort of deal multiple times. And for that reason, I think that they make my list of you should subscribe to this platform.
Yeah.
They have some funny stuff. It's all NBC programming. You get the NBC library.
I'm going to take Peacock.
Awesome.
I didn't think I would ever say that.
I didn't think that you would either.
But I'm going to put it at 4.
That's a good spot for it.
And here's my thing. They have started gobbling up some of their IPs.
Yeah.
And started gobbling up some of these shows because now you got to watch The Office there. Brooklyn Nine-Nine is there.
Have you watched the show that they have called American Auto?
No, but I've heard about it.
I don't know if it is an NBC show or if it is just Peacock original, but it's pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah, I've heard good stuff about that.
And it's sort of that mockumentary style.
Yeah. They've got some classic stuff. Frasier's over there. Everybody loves Raymond, Parks and Rec.
Community.
Yeah, I mean, any of the NBC stuff is over there. And so, yeah, I mean, they've slowly, and it would not surprise me. Right now, Friends is on HBO, but I would bet money, give it a little time, I bet Friends will be over on Peacock at some point. So Peacock making moves. I mean,
And there have been some big movies that were Peacock exclusive for a while,
Yeah.
like the newest Jurassic Park.
yeah,
It was Peacock exclusive.
It was, yeah. The
You shouldn't watch it.
Super Mario will be on Peacock.
Oh, will it?
That will be its streaming platform.
Okay.
Is Peacock.
Exclusive?
Yeah.
I did not know that. I still haven't seen that. I've heard good things about
Yeah,
it.
we just watched it not too long. We rented it.
Live up to being watchworthy?
Watchworthy. I think it was a little bit overhyped for me personally.
What's your IMDb rating?
I think I gave it a 7. Maybe I might have leaned toward 8, but I think I think
Most of my friends have fallen between 7 and 8 on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really good, very nostalgic, but I think it just underperformed based on the hype that was around it for me.
For the big one,
Okay.
I think that when it comes to Max, formerly known as HBO Max, they were purchased by Discovery,
Right.
which is kind of
Weird.
You're like, wait a second, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, Discovery purchased Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers.
Which you also are like, what? Yeah. Apparently Discovery's got some money.
I guess so, man.
So they purchased it and decided to combine Discovery Plus and HBO Max into one app.
Yeah, there was talk that it would be Warner Discovery Max at one point.
I'm glad somebody was like, you know what? We can't do that. It doesn't fit onto the jersey.
Yeah,
Name doesn't fit.
Exactly. So yeah, they
dropped the HBO. It seems a little weird to just call it Max.
Well, okay. I think that's fine. I think if you want to drop the HBO,
sure.
just call it Max, that's fine. What I don't think was necessary was them making it sound like it was a whole new thing, a whole new streaming service, a brand new experience. And
Yeah, it's not.
It's not. Like when they did all that and I said a new thing coming tomorrow, and then you open it up and you're like, oh, it's the exact same user interface. It's the exact same everything.
And they have now slightly refreshed their user interface. I think they took a step backward. I don't really care for the new user interface as I did the old one. But I am going to take Max as number one.
Yeah.
Because I think this is the number one
I agree.
streaming platform that exists today.
Yeah.
You can still get Discovery Plus on its own if you so choose.
Oh, really?
But for the price, for the library that you get,
It's a massive
the
library.
content that you get, HBO Max or Max, their original programming, I think, is the best original programming that is out there.
Agreed. Yeah.
And
their library is the deepest too.
it is so deep.
I mean, they've got everything, especially when it comes to movies. A lot of series, but they've got a lot of movies too.
My biggest complaint with this whole deal is that they took 4K away. So they were a 4K platform for what you got. When they became Max, the 4K went away unless you jumped up to a bigger tier.
Yeah.
And it bugged me. It's not like, okay, I'm not going to continue to subscribe to this. I did not pay to get the 4K programming. I was like, I'm just keeping the standard.
But I'm wondering how
1080.
many people are watching in full 4K. I mean, from a streaming platform, because you got to have great internet.
I think
to make
as
it
of
happen.
right now, today, I think that your people who are really taking in the full 4K effect is probably still a pretty small amount of people.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a few years down the road still
Yeah.
before everybody. Even
It's okay.
I'm getting choked up over this. Because I think that you have, now that I have good internet at my house, thank you, Elon Musk and Starlink, they then instituted a data cap, though, that says you can't use more than a terabyte of data or we're going to slow your stuff down.
Really?
Well, 4K takes up a lot of data to stream.
It does.
And I was like, oh, there's no way I'm using a terabyte a month. And I went and checked, and it was like 1 month I used 2 terabytes worth of data.
Oh, my gosh.
Like, what? Now they have since rolled that back and said, okay, we're taking the data cap away.
That's good.
But there are many internet providers do have a data cap.
Oh, yeah.
It may be way up there, but if you're streaming 4K stuff,
yeah,
it's not that hard to hit your to hit your data cap.
Not at all.
So, but the price, I think it is.
I want to say
I had it
$16.99, $15.99, somewhere in that area.
And I pay mine as an annual subscription because there was like a 30 or 40% off
honestly,
deal.
if you're able to do that, that's really the way to go.
Yeah. And I
you
waited.
might space out all those annuals, or
Yes.
do it around tax time. Get it all at one time.
But I paid like $109 for the year.
Yeah.
And I had to let mine expire because when it was time to renew, they were not offering me that. It was going to be $150 a year.
Yeah.
And so I just canceled.
Yeah.
And like 24 hours later, they sent me an email. How about to come back for 40% off? I was like, all right, I'm back. But they were going to try to do me like the cable company. They were not going to reward me for being a loyal customer.
Yeah, y'all got to stop that, streaming services.
So
learn from the cable company's mistake. Why are we trying to go back in time?
And I think that Discovery Plus, I was always a big fan of Discovery Plus. I enjoyed a lot of their content. And now that it's all in Max, I think it's
it's hard to beat.
I think it's the best one that's out there.
The next one on the list, Hulu. And I'm going to put Hulu at my number one. I put it right under Max as far as probably the service I use the most. It's Max, then Hulu probably. Hulu's got some. They've got all like your Fox shows. A lot of NBC shows are still over there as well. They've kind of gobbled up a lot of those other networks, and they've partnered with Hulu. Was like the OG. Like, as far as like TV streaming, you had Netflix that was doing it, but Hulu was where you went to go watch TV online. And so they're still doing it. They have a live option that I've thought about exploring, but I just don't watch enough live TV for it to matter. But Hulu does do a great job for network TV about adding stuff the next day. So they have like FX and shows channels like that where they'll show on broadcast TV on a Sunday night, and then it's on Hulu the very next day. And they've got a lot of good original programming as well. They've dabbled into cooking stuff and documentary stuff. They've got movies and stuff that are on there. And so, do you have Hulu?
I do.
You do? You like it? Are you're in you an ad tier or ad free?
I have the ad tier.
Okay.
I have the Disney bundle through Verizon. Verizon includes that with our deal.
Yeah.
So the Hulu version of it is ad free or is ad supported.
Yeah. You watch it much?
No.
Really?
Not really. Over the last 7 months having a baby, I don't feel like I've watched a whole lot of things. I understand that part.
Yeah.
But of the ones that we watched, I think the one thing that we've watched on it in the last 7 months is there was an original program called Candy about a true story out of Texas, a lady that axe murdered another lady.
Hulu does have a lot of like true crime-ish stuff. They lean into the creepy sometimes.
This was Jessica Biel.
Oh, really?
That was playing in this one. HBO Max just came out with their version of the same exact story miniseries called Love and Death that had who's the girl who played Wanda?
Elizabeth Olsen?
She played Candy Montgomery.
Interesting.
So two big names.
Yeah. Wow.
That were in this series. And I think HBO edged out Hulu on the show. Yeah, they were both interesting.
I think as far as content goes, HBO's definitely got the better content, like the better quality rather. Hulu's got a pretty deep library though as well.
They do.
And so that's where, I find myself, I'm either watching stuff on Max, Hulu, or Peacock. Peacock's creeped up there as far as quantity of stuff just because their library is so deep, those comfort shows, those reruns, those types of things. What else we got?
How about Disney Plus?
Yeah.
It's part of that Hulu bundle. You can still subscribe to it on its own standalone, just like you can the others. But Disney Plus fits into my number 2, which is and I'm having to think back, but I think this drops it. I'm pretty sure I was all in on Disney Plus.
You were
several years ago. It was my number 1.
Yeah. Last time we did this, it hadn't come out yet, right?
Yeah.
Or had Apple TV not come out yet?
Apple TV hadn't come out yet. I think the first time we did this, it hadn't. I think the second time it had,
right,
but Apple had not at that point. But this one has slipped a bit for me because Disney has done something that they initially indicated they would not do, and that is remove stuff from the platform.
Yeah.
It's frustrating.
It is.
Especially when you told us.
You think Bob will bring it back now that he's back?
I hope so.
I mean, he came back. He should bring all the stuff with him.
I hope so. Because we were sold on we're opening the Disney Vault.
Right.
So many childhood classics, things like that we want to see, other shows and movies. We're opening the vault. All of these things I haven't seen, we're bringing it back. It's going to be here forever for you to watch. And then like 2 years into it, they're like, you know what? We're throwing it all back in the vault. It may be on here, and next week we could pull it.
Yeah.
And it's just, that really annoys you.
Yeah, it does.
Because they own it. There's no reason it should be pulled. There's nobody's taking, Bambi away from you. You own Bambi. It should never go back into the vault. Yeah. That was my biggest complaint with it. And then I feel like the Disney Plus original programming has also it's sort of followed Marvel.
It's stalled out.
Where it has kind of just it's not what it was when it first started.
They really pushed quantity over quality hard. Like they're like, we're gonna throw so much stuff at you that you're gonna you're gonna always want to be here because there's gonna be so much to watch. What they failed to think about was, do you want to watch the stuff we're throwing at you?
Yes. And here's my next complaint about Disney Plus. And like we said, we're kind of weaving some of our worst stuff all around. Yeah. So this would be in the worst side for me. Their vault deal, and then this. Shows like The Mandalorian, which was incredible.
Yeah.
It was groundbreaking. It was fascinating. Absolutely loved it. They made buku bucks off of Grogu, Baby Yoda. It was fantastic. But you cannot take 2.5, 3 years to roll out another season that is 8 to 10 episodes long.
And there's another network that we'll mention a little bit that is
doing the same thing. Yeah. Yes. I'm going to lose interest.
I did. Like, I still have not finished the last season of Mandalorian.
I cannot remember what happened 3 years ago. No. And your 30-second recap, that's really not going to do it for me.
They're banking on that you go back and rewatch it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I'm not going to do that.
I've already invested that time.
Exactly.
It was good, but it wasn't like so good that it's like, you know what, 2 years later, you know what I want to see? I want to see all that over again.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, no.
You can't take that long on putting out some of your good content.
You can't.
And then, this is also, whoever took over Star Wars, they kind of ruined some Star Wars stuff, and they ruined some of the spinoffs that they were putting out there.
Yeah.
Same thing with Marvel.
Yeah.
The Marvel spinoffs and things that we've seen.
Yeah.
They're just not up to the...
And I've heard they're cutting back on a lot of that. I've heard that they've shifted a lot of dates moving forward. Part of that's with the writer's strike, which we can get into.
It is.
But a lot of that is also somebody like Bob coming in and saying, "Yeah, we got to fix this."
Yeah.
Because they're losing people in droves because the interest is dying off. That wow factor, the shine is worn off now. I have heard rumors, though, that Disney Plus and Hulu could be merging at some point
into just one single platform.
Yeah, which I'm here for if they decide to do that. I think that you're taking the max approach, I guess.
Yeah,
but I mean, hey, one app makes it easier, But
And they have merged a lot of some of the Hulu adult content has come over into Disney.
Yeah.
Some of the Disney content has shown up over on the Hulu app.
Yeah.
So they're cross-posting some of this stuff.
I've heard that in overseas markets, they've been doing some things like that too, where it's just called like Star or something like that.
Star is their, that's their international.
I will say, as have you felt yet as a parent? Have you taken advantage of any of those benefits? So there's like kids channels now, kids profiles that you can have.
Okay.
So like on Disney Plus, we created Ellie a little profile just so we don't have to muddy up our algorithm,
Okay.
with her
Elmo
content
or whatever it is.
Bluey. Okay.
Gotcha.
Bluey is the show.
I've heard other parents tell me that they enjoy watching some Bluey.
Bluey. So I've not
seen it.
We've watched. My little niece loves Bluey too, and I appreciate it because there's a lot of wink and nods to parents. There's a lot of fun stuff for parents in there. But I was looking at some list of the top 10 shows of 2023, and it had like The Last of Us, and it had Succession on there, and all these gritty dramas. And like number 7, Bluey. This really deep list, and then Bluey's there. But yeah, that was one thing that I know is going to come in handy later on, especially with Disney, is the ability for, kind of her to have her own little section to watch what she needs to watch on that app. And I'm sure others may have that, but I know because Disney has Disney stuff, like it's going to lean kid heavy.
It is. And it's still good enough for me that it's my number 2.
Yeah.
It's got so much classic stuff on it. I enjoy it, but I do have those complaints about it.
Yep. Speaking of complaints,
let's get into that.
I think it's the last big one we have, right? Netflix. I don't think you're making either of our lists, and I think you've got 2 spots left. I've got 1. But Netflix, you had a good run. I think it's over.
You started everything. And sort of like where ESPN went wrong and they've become the shark bait, Netflix has become the shark bait.
Yeah.
Everybody's just kind of chowing down on it.
Have you gone on Netflix? You don't have Netflix anymore, do you?
I don't have Netflix.
I
haven't had Netflix in 2 years.
We hopped on Netflix the other day. Now, I still know some people. It is still the most popular streaming platform. More people have
somehow
Netflix than anything else. But I hopped on there the other day because we were just trying to find some movie to watch. We had heard the Bird Box sequel was out, and so we went to go look for it. And ironically, Netflix feels like now like it did when it first started streaming.
Really?
That's what it feels like. Where it's just a lot of stuff that you have no idea what it is. It's just random shows, random movies that. Now this time, when it first launched, they were paying these smaller, movie houses and production companies and stuff like that for their content. Now they're creating the content, and there's just so much of it out there. It's overwhelming. But so much of it out there is B, C, D level quality, and it's just not.
I mean, their big draw right now is Adam Sandler, right? He's like,
he's got like
Netflix exclusive guy,
6 movie
just
deal.
like pumping out.
They do a lot of comedy specials, so I know they're known for that. They're like a Netflix comedy special. That's a big that's what the HBO comedy special used to be back in the day, or the Comedy Central special. But man. And they've got some properties that pop up. I know Chris Hemsworth has a movie series on Netflix. The what's it called? Extraction. So there's some good stuff. Stranger Things was still a massive hit for him. Yep. But Stranger Things did the same thing to Mandalorian, where it took 3 years for their new season to pop up. So I don't know. You have a rant. To go on about Netflix?
The price has continued. This is where they have gone more wrong than anybody.
Yeah.
Disney has had some faltering steps.
Yeah.
Netflix has face planted. They just announced, was it yesterday, the day before? Another price increase is coming.
And they're dropping
the cheapest ad-free option.
because they had a $6.99, which they used to say we will never introduce ads. We're not going to be an ad platform. Guess what?
Good
that
old
changed.
Reed changed that.
And then they introduced a $6.99 ad platform or a $9.99 ad-free. And then you could go up from there. That was the basic ad-free.
It had no 4K.
One screen or two screens, no 4K, basic. Then you could go to 4 screens and then a 4K option on top of that, I think.
So jack the price up again.
Yep.
$19.99 for the cheapest ad-free option.
Maybe 15.
Is it 15? I've got it over here. And then, of course, the most unpopular thing that they have done in the last year is the password sharing crackdown.
Yeah.
They're like, we don't want you bumming this off of your friends.
Yeah.
If you would like to bum it off your friends, that's going to be an extra $2, $4, something like that. Like, we will allow you to bum it, but we're going to charge you a little bit to bum it.
Yeah, exactly. It's just they are just grasping at straws. It's uncomfortable what they're doing.
It is. Where is this?
And I saw something like their users have increased, but their profits have tanked. So I'm like, that math don't math. Like there's something in the water that's about to. I think they're just done. I think it's about to be over, and I think Netflix has had its time. Unless they really do some quality rebranding, unless they really get some good content in there.
$15.49 per month.
Okay.
And in response to that, yesterday, Netflix lost $18 billion in value. It's probably a combination of the writers,
possibly
actors, and the price increase.
Well, yeah, they're gonna lose. You're gonna lose all those people who are paying for ads. They're gone. Like they're not jumping up.
If I would, I wouldn't. I wouldn't
double it. You're gonna double the price.
I wouldn't pay for it.
No, wouldn't either.
So Netflix, for me, I think it is the worst value in all of streaming.
I agree. Yeah, well, and we should say that if you had the $9.99, supposedly they say they're not changing it. You're grandfathered in to stay at that price for how long?
For how long? At some point, you're going to get that email that says, "Hey,"
and that's where I'm.
Your price is going
I did
up.
the $9.99. No ad free, bottom tier. Basic package. I fully expect at some point in 2023, they're going to ask me to jump up, and I'm just not going to do it. We just don't watch it enough. So yeah, I agree. Netflix is at the bottom of the barrel.
According to Tom's Guide, they have it ranked as their number 3 best streaming option, behind Hulu and Max.
Yeah.
And this was before the newest one. I would expect that Disney Plus moves ahead of.
Yeah.
If I were ranking them, Disney Plus would be ahead of Netflix.
Yeah,
for sure.
We got to fill out our bracket, so I'm going to go ahead and snag Apple TV Plus.
I want Friendly TV.
Friendly.
FRNDLY.
We're at
number 4.
Okay.
This is one. It is. I think it's $5 a month, $6 a month.
Yeah.
It's got some live channels with it that you can watch, but the biggest thing that I like, and this is probably a very small amount of people like me that would like this. My parents really like it, but they have so many of the old classic shows that are on there.
Yeah.
Things like The Andy Griffith Show, Gilligan's Island,
Gotcha.
Leave It to Beaver, I Love Lucy, all sorts of stuff from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and then they even have a lot of 80s and 90s content on there as well.
Okay.
But lots of older classic shows. And that's why I really like it, because I grew up watching everything from the 50s through the 80s.
Yeah.
I grew up on that stuff.
Yeah.
So for me, it's very nostalgic to go back and watch those.
What's the price point on that?
It's either $5 or $6 a month.
Okay.
Or the year is like $50 or $55, something like that.
Okay.
So it because of the price point.
It's the new version of TV Land.
Yeah, very, very much so.
Which I think TV Land is Paramount.
Is it?
I believe so. Because they were connected to Nickelodeon, I remember back in the day, and Nickelodeon is owned by Paramount. Which, again, a lot of those old shows are also available on a lot of these other. So if it was on NBC, it's back in the day, it's probably on Peacock. Like I think of something like Little House on the Prairie. Was it what network was it on back in the day?
Oh, yeah.
I know Murder, She Wrote, I know is on Paramount. So like some of those have some of those old ones, but having them in one place that you can kind of go to is nice. Yes. And that's where you start to see some of the smaller niche networks, kind of like your TV Land or Game Show Network was on cable TV. Yeah. You've got those streaming platforms that are acquiring rights to stream just those things. And that's nice. I like it.
Let's see.
One more spot to fill.
I've got one more spot.
Yeah.
We're kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel at this point. I guess I'm going to take Prime.
Prime.
What spot do I have that in?
3.
Number 3. Yeah.
Yeah. I could give some shout outs to like AMC Plus is really good. You can if you're a Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, Walking Dead, all that kind of stuff fan, you probably like that a lot. Tubi is decent.
I wanted to say I think we should at least give some honorable mention to some of these free platforms like Tubi, Pluto TV, Freevee. That's through Amazon.
Yeah.
There are several of those.
Roku TV channel.
Roku, yep. That have a ton of content.
Yeah.
If you can deal with ads, you can watch a ton of content for free.
And see, I would, if I've got to pay for ads, I'd rather go to one of those free platforms.
Yeah, sure.
You may be a little bit more limited
on your library.
Yeah, but it's free.
You might, and some of them have some really good content.
Yeah. Yeah, when we were on vacation a couple of weeks ago, Airbnbs and stuff, they just have their random TV and whatever service they have connected. It was a Roku TV. And of course I'm taking an Apple TV and hooking it up immediately. But that last day as we're packing stuff up, I went ahead and took off my Apple TV so I didn't forget it. And so it was on the Roku TV channel. And all they were playing that day was Duck Dynasty.
Oh.
And I forgot how good Duck Dynasty was.
I've seen it in years.
I forgot how entertaining that was. So, but yeah, I mean, you can get limited pretty quickly on content on those services. But if that fits into your lifestyle or the kind of content you like, then hey, go for it.
There's another one like VidAngel.
Yeah. Is that still around?
VidAngel is still around. They have a few original things that are being done on there. You have
They do The Chosen.
They do The Chosen, which is a absolutely massive.
Yeah, it's huge,
massive show. And then you have a platform like PureFlix.
Yeah.
That if you're just looking for sort of just faith-based only programming, and I know there's some people that are like that. They've got a lot of content. Mm-hmm. If you're into faith-based programming, you're kind of aware that some of your stuff may be, D quality, F quality. I don't know. Some of them's bad. There's some decent faith-based movies, and they're getting better. Things like The Chosen that are out there that are really doing well.
Yeah, and the more of, even if you got pockets of really good ones, hopefully it funds better ones to come behind it. Yeah,
for sure. But those are just, I would say, some honorable mentions.
Yeah. All right, you ready to bracket?
Let's do it.
Okay. Am I on the right one? Let's see. Let's gamble.
I'm gonna guess.
Nope.
Not.
Oh my gosh. Get over on the right one.
If you want to be the best, you have to beat the rest. This is the Best Things Bracket.
So after the last episode, when we ended the recording, Aaron and I both looked as we stood up and said, "Man, we hit it right at an hour. We did pretty good." Not so much
over on this.
Not so much on this one. But this was a two-parter last time, so comparatively, we did pretty good on this.
We did.
By the way, before we get into the bracket, just want to remind you guys we want to hear your feedback. Text us or call us 585-BESTIE-5. We've loved hearing your voicemails and stuff like that. And so now that we're kind of back from hiatus, we would love to hear and get connected to you. So that number, 585-BESTIE-5, it's 585-237-8435. Text us, call us, give us your opinion. Let us know what streaming services you have and which one you like the best and what you watch, and we'll play it on an upcoming episode. Follow us on all the socials, blah, 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 blah. Okay, without further ado, here we go. Up first, Max versus Peacock. 3, 2, 1. Max. Oh, the Grinch stole Christmas. Disney Plus versus Apple TV Plus. 3, 2. By the way, what is our criteria here? Do we want to say you can only have one? We just want to say what the best overall value, content, price, everything is?
I think so.
Okay. All right, Disney Plus, Apple TV Plus, 3, 2, 1, Disney. Hulu versus Friendly, 3, 2, 1, Hulu. And then YouTube Premium, not TV, but YouTube Premium versus Prime, 3, 2, 1, YouTube. Okay. Max versus Disney Plus. 3, 2, 1, Max. Hulu versus YouTube. 3, 2, 1, YouTube. All right. We have not had to go to 10 yet. We have been in lockstep. Will it continue? Max versus YouTube Premium in 3, 2, 1. Max.
Oh, wow. I almost thought there was a chance you were going YouTube with that one.
No.
But
we're going to keep it. Max, the best streaming platform.
The best streaming platform. And it doesn't compete with anything.
I really don't think it's close at this point. Right now, as we're recording this, like you said, it could change fast. But as we're recording this right now, I just don't think. I don't think it's close.
It's not competing with another
that's
past champion.
Yeah, we had last week.
It starts clean.
Yeah,
money went to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, so go back and if you didn't listen to that, what are you doing listening out of order? Go back. So yeah, Max is the new champion by default, and so it will go up against next week's bracket winner, whatever that may be. So there we go. That's the show.
I said last episode that I had a rant that I wanted to go on about something.
You did.
It never really had a natural segue into this episode, so I'm postponing it at least for one more.
So was it not streaming?
It was not streaming related.
Wow.
It's not streaming related.
Interesting.
I just need to follow up on something that I ranted about a year ago that I have followed up on since.
You flip-flopped again on pineapple on pizza.
This
is the return.
I have been thinking about making that flip-flop again.
That's funny.
I'm sort of, I think it was John Kerry when he ran for president in 2004 when he said, I was for the war before I was against the war. I was against pineapple before I was for it, and I'm now against it again. Something, I don't know, like that.
Oh, my gosh. Okay. Well, you got anything else?
No.
My closing statement would be go watch some Apple TV stuff or Aaron will get mad at you. That's my experience.
Please do it. Check out Hijack.
It's Idris Elba?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's been a pretty entertaining show. It's only going to be 7 episodes, it appears. I don't think it's going to have a second season to it. Looks just sort of like a standalone miniseries.
I'll have to give it a shot.
It's been pretty good. I've got it rated as an 8.
Wow.
I think it could have been a standalone movie.
Yeah.
But it's had a few slow-moving parts in it. But overall, it's been a pretty entertaining show.
Okay.
And it's taken 5 episodes to ever figure out some motive. I mean, they're just very slowly revealing pieces to the puzzle.
Interesting.
I guess over the last 2 or 3 episodes, things are going to have to really fall into place to figure out what's going on.
Wow. Not a sponsor, but sounds like you could be. Apple. Oh, Apple sponsor.
We will let them do it.
We will absolutely. Okay, that'll do it then for the best things. I'm Craig.
I'm Aaron.
We will talk at you next time. Bye, everybody.
Thanks for listening to the Best Things Podcast. If you liked today's episode, subscribe and leave us a review wherever you're listening now. And remember, connect with us on the socials at Best Things Pod, and you may hear your take on an upcoming episode.